What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show, brother from another. And we talked about Steph Curry a little bit yesterday. We weren't sure when we were on the air. We weren't sure, how long he was going to be out, if he was going to be out at all. Waiting for an MRI. Well, the MRI came in, and the news is not good for the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, their best player, my best player in the NBA. We'll talk about that in a second. My best player in the NBA is out for a month. Now, I'm joined by Natalie. Natalie was here yesterday. She was sitting right there. Now she's on the screen. Natalie, I saw you at the party. We had a great time at the NBC party last night. You're awake. I'm awake. A lot of other people aren't. As a matter of fact, I'm so excited. I got to tell you this story real quick before we talk about Steph Curry. So excited. Got up this morning, got a workout in, and to celebrate my workout, because, I burned 34 calories. To celebrate the 34 calories I burned, I had sweet potato pie for breakfast from Gary Carter, and that pie is insanity. It's insanity.
Well, I have not eaten my slice yet, and Gary was bugging me about it already. I will not eat pie for breakfast, so I will have some, and then I will let.
I don't know why you're being so inflexible about it. Why are you being so inflexible about it? Okay, you got to eat pie for breakfast. You have to.
No,
you have to.
No.
It'll change your life.
My mom did not raise me to eat pie for breakfast.
Now you're going in on Maryland, Holley. Oh, Maryland. Don't take it personally. All right, anyway, let's talk about Steph. Because I really have a question, Natalie, and you're the perfect person to answer this. Yeah. Who are the Golden State Warriors without Steph Curry? That was my first question that came up with this. Like, who does this team become? Steph is their everything. He's the star, and not many players can be the star player and the glue guy. He's both. So who do they become when he's out for a month?
Yeah, they have to become a less arrogant team. I'll tell you that.
Arrogant? What? No. Ooh, you got my attention already. What do you mean by that? Who's arrogant?
The whole organization from top to bottom, the ownership, the coach, and even the players to an extent, right? I mean, when you have Draymond Green go on podcasts and say, like, it's hard for me to get up for like games that aren't, certain games. I mean, and I get it. Like, they've been there, done that, won so much, long season. So you understand that. But there is an arrogance to approaching the season when you just feel like it's early in the season, so you can just continue to rest guys so early, and like, we're going to focus on development even though we're losing games. And I agree that guys need to be developed, but your expectations are another championship. You're coming off of a championship year. So development cannot be at the expense of winning. And that's sort of what they did at the beginning of the season. And I think it's kind of like, well, we have plenty of time. It's a long season. And now Steph is hurt, right? And so, and not only him, Andrew Wiggins is hurt, who is their second best player. So, and he hasn't been cleared to return. So when you approach the game with that sort of arrogance, like now you're in a very difficult situation.
All right. So you know what? Next week, I'm already thinking about next week's shows. We're gonna park there.
Okay.
We're gonna park there. We'll keep the car running. We're going to park there, and we're going to really get into some deep conversations about this arrogance. You mentioned ownership. You mentioned the coaching staff. You mentioned the players. We got to talk. We don't have time. We don't have time right now to talk about all that, but that's some good stuff right there. This is what I do want to mention, and I want to have this conversation with you. Top 10 players in the NBA. Now, The Ringer came out with a list of the top 100 players in the league. And I like it. Kevin O'Connor, who did it. I love Kevin. I've known him for a while. Does a really good job. I don't agree with his top 10 list entirely, but I thought, Natalie, we like basketball. We love basketball.
Yep.
Let's come up with our own list. So let's see our list here. Top 10 players in the league. We see it the same way. Ooh. Yeah, we do. I mean, like, we both have. Let's go 10. I have to admit. Can I admit something to you?
Go ahead.
That 10. I always feel like the top 10 list. Top 10 list is fluid all the time. We'll have a different top 10 list in February, and then a different one when the playoffs start. So at number 10, I feel like that's a slot that's very flexible. I put Devin Booker in there just to annoy you? Because I know you can't stand the Suns. I said, let me put Devin Booker in so I can get Natalie to pop off. Now, Natalie, I'm surprised you put Anthony Davis. You got Dame Lillard at 10. I like that. Mm-hmm. You've got Anthony Davis at 8, and I know Davis has been playing great this season. I don't believe it yet.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I am of the mindset, and I always have been, I said earlier in the year on this show, when we talked about top 10 players, and you guys kind of chuckled at me a little bit. But I said, if Anthony Davis, and that's always the big if with him, if he can remain healthy and all of that, he's always going to be a top 10 player, you know, in my opinion. So it's always just about his health. And so far this season, I think it's undeniable that he's been having a top 10 season, but it's also fair to say, well, I got to watch him do it for the rest of the season. I think that's fair. So I'm not upset at that, not believing it.
I think, I don't think we have like Micah Parsons said, I think they hate me in Philly. I think they may hate us in Philly. We both have been borderline disrespectful, lightweight disrespectful with Joel Embiid. Oh, you don't think so? Joel Embiid, no, I got him at 8. You got him at 7. Why?
I get it. I get that he has been an MVP runner-up, and I thought he should have actually won last year. So I understand why people would say, like, how can he be in the conversations for MVP and only be, you know, the 7th best player or not top 5 or wherever you want to put him. But to me, I look at your status as a player based on your play and also a combination of what you've done, right? And Joel Embiid has yet to make it out of the second round. He's yet to get beyond that. And you can tell me all the reasons in the world, but I want to go back to the year when Ben Simmons gets blamed for, you know, not taking that shot at the rim, and then he leaves the team. And like that allowed Joel Embiid to get away with not people actually talking about his play down the stretch. And I know he was a little hurt, but he played all well during the game. And then in the fourth quarter, he didn't show up. And then I heard the injury stuff, right? Like the injury is not why you were missing free throws. It's not why you were missing shots that you were making all throughout the game. He didn't close. I still think that team should have at a minimum got to the conference finals. And so the others have done it. They've gotten there. They've showed me. And that is the simple reason why I put them ahead of Embiid. But he has all of that talent. He just has to do it. So I think being top 7 isn't a disrespect.
No. And the top 10 is not disrespectful. And I know you all will have comments on this. We welcome your comments. And that is a segue. Throw it up, alley-oop, to Natalie. We are always here for these comments. What is in the comment section today, Natalie? It is always some good stuff that is instructive for all of us. So what do we got?
Yeah, well, a few things, but like, let's start with the Lions conversation earlier this week that you guys had on Monday. The comments, people just loved that segment, and they felt just really happy about the love that you and Mike and Charles were showing to Detroit in terms of the team, but also understanding the significance of what it means to the city and how long it's been for them. And so there was just a lot of pride in the comments, and I thought that we should reflect that, because like Detroit is one of those cities, you know, there's a lot of pride in being from Detroit, and like, so this represents something bigger, you know, to the city. And I think you guys captured that in the segment. You know, there's someone who noted like he's actually just new to, I shouldn't say he, I don't know actually if it's a he or a she, but he's new to the show, or the person is new to the show, and they love it and just love the way that we covered this. So great job. Flowers.
Oh, thank you. And I have so much love for Detroit. I love that city, one of the great cities in America. It is, and a lot of people, you know, talk about it without being there. If you've ever been to Detroit, you understand the history, you understand the significance that Detroit has, not only to the Midwest but to the United States. Anyway, what else? What else we got in our comments?
Yeah, very quickly, because there's two sets of comments I want to get to. One is the Brock Purdy discussion you guys also had on Monday. Overwhelmingly, I was a little surprised, but a large faction of the audience, they really agreed with Michael Smith. They thought like he is showing those signs and thought that, you know, there's a little hateration going on from you and Charles. So, but it's interesting
Always.
because that was kind of the reaction in the comments on YouTube. But Twitter and Instagram were a little bit like, oh, hold your horses, or a little bit more on you guys' side, or just like they need to see more. So they were like, come on, it's been two games, dude. So it's interesting how the different platforms, the comments were different. So, but overall, another discussion that was very popular this week, and the audience loved it.
Oh, that's good. And there was a third game now, and I know these comments came in before. You know, Brock Purdy did his thing last night, kind of strengthening his cause. And I don't know if you heard, I tried to get Robert Mays to move off his spot. Hey, what if Brock Purdy goes all the way, just like Tom Brady, goes to the Super Bowl MVP? Do you stick with Trey Lance? He said, yes. Now, I want to know what you all think about that. Look, as Natalie has said many times, and Mike has said it, I'll say it as well, we welcome the comments. If you are checking us out, if you are consuming our content, engaging with us, whether you agree or disagree, we appreciate it. So we always love to hear from you. Thank you for watching Brother from Another today and this week. We will be back on Monday. A lot of good stuff to talk about. Natalie, go ahead and eat that slice of pie.
I will.
And after you eat that slice, you're going to want a full one from Gary Carter.
Maybe. I'm never going to think anyone's pie is better than my mother's.
Ooh,
just
you
so
are tough. Tough critic. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.